Hold on, let me set the phone up before we start going. There we go. Perfect angle. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. Another fucking NFL Sunday. Can't even talk. My voice is so fucked up right now. But we're here. We're here for an NFL fucking Sunday, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great day. Me as a Jet fan, it's the easiest thing in the world is these NFL Sundays because I don't have a fucking expectation. I don't care about a thing. I'm not nervous about a game. I don't give two shits. Just a Falcons fan. What's up? I hope you guys beat the fuck out of us today. I do not want to be winning football games as a Jet fan. No. Zero. Don't want anything. Don't want to be winning games. I'm going to be live for the game as well on YouTube as well as here on TikTok. We're going to be doing, a little commentary on the Jet game. It's just, I love pain. I love it. I love the pain. Again, I'm not sitting here. I'm not rooting for the Jets by any means. We want a number one overall pick. It's not going to happen, but hey, a man can dream. We'll be sitting here. We'll be hate watching the Indianapolis Colts as well. Let's go Texans. Come on, baby. But anyway, it's another week, another NFL Sunday. Like I said, being a Jet fan is kind of sick nowadays on NFL Sundays because, I'm not nervous about anything. I'm so fucking, I'm completely numb to the fact that my team is so bad that nothing matters anymore. It doesn't. Nothing about anything matters. We're going to look at the early slate. We're going to see what's, what the big games are. Really, I think the biggest game in the early slate, it's got to be the Colts and Texans. For the Indianapolis Colts, they're a team that have completely gone for it this year. They took my guy Sauce Gardner. They took on my man Sauce, who, listen, I've had a lot of things to say about Sauce. I've had a lot of things about how, 2 first-round picks for a cornerback that, isn't really that good. I've been saying it for a while. The Colts need to go out and win this football game today against a very, very, very good Texans defense. Here's the problem is, Daniel Jones, clearly, he broke his leg right. He's a fractured fibula or whatever. Against this Houston Texans pass rush, that is a recipe for fucking disaster today. I look at the Houston Texans. I look at this line. The Colts at the Texans at +3. The over/under is 44.5. I don't know if I like a bet more today, more than the under in the Colts and Texans. I feel like the pass rush of the Houston Texans is going to give Daniel Jones fits today. The Texans offense isn't great. 44.5 is a big number for a game that I think is going to be a gross fucking affair. Take the under. Texans, fucking Colts. That's the game I love today. Although, at the same time, I do love Woody Marks to get in the end zone. Kind of a catch-22. Kind of, it goes against each other. But that's the one game, the early slate. I'm looking at all the lines here. Let's see. We got the Falcons -3 at the Jets. I'm not touching that game because, I'm not, I'm not betting on Jet games. I'm not betting on either team. They both suck equally. No, we're not touching that game at all. Joe Waters, what's up, man? Whiskey with Waters is here on YouTube. What's going on, man? How we doing? Let's see. This is Commanders. You got a big Sunday night game tonight for your Commanders. 3-8. Plenty of time to turn the season around. As a Packers fan, what's happening with the Lions? I think they lost their offensive coordinator, who was a genius. JR Sports with the. Are we hooking them? Is that what we're doing here? Are we hooking them? Are you watching Are you going to watch the Jet game today? I am going to watch the Jets today. Joe Waters, that's good to hear, man. Listen, I gotta, one of these times, I keep missing your streams, man, and I'm upset about it. I'm surprised they didn't flex this game out. They should have, honestly. Really not much to play for. There's so many games this week. You could have thrown the Texans and Colts in that slot. Rico or Bucky? That's a good question. I think I would personally go Rico. I'd go Rico. You might just get hit with the Rico. Go Rico Dowdle. Panthers are going to be throwing the ball around. I hope it's a close game. I hope it's a close game and the Jets find a way to lose it. We want the number one pick. We are not looking for anything other than the number one pick here. But yeah, the Texans and Colts would have been a perfect game to flex into that slot. You could have had the Broncos and Commanders at 1 o'clock. That's a big game. Texans, Colts, the Colts don't really have as much of a stranglehold on that division as they might have a couple weeks ago. It makes too much sense to move that game into that game means the most this week. They should have moved it to Sunday night. Does Flay no ball feel like he doesn't? Honestly, I just sit here and pretend like I do. It's for the most part, this is all a facade. I really don't know a single thing about anything football-wise. baseball-wise. If you've heard anything I've had to say, you probably know that by now, that I'm just a big dumb idiot with a big dumb hat. So that's what it comes down to. Diggs, Dortch, or Jay Higgins? Ooh, good question. Let me take a look real quick for you. Ooh, Higgins, Dortch, the Dorcher Chamber. Are you going to put on the Dorcher Chamber today? Honestly, I'd go Higgins. But that's just me. Again, I am a terrible fantasy player. These last 2 years, I am flirting with last place again this year. I was the last place finisher in my league last year. Don't listen to anything I have to say. Ask like 2 or 3 people before you take my opinion and run with it. Big dumb idiot with a big dumb hat. Listen, you know, you gotta run with what you're. You gotta run with what you got. You gotta like look at yourself in the mirror sometimes, Joe, and realize, you know, it's not all there. Now, I do like doing this on ESPN. They show like the ticket prices, and I want to see like what game you can get into for the lowest price today and what's the highest price. Let's see. Shockingly, the lowest price game today, it must be with the weather. Cleveland 49ers, you can get into that game for $9 today. The most expensive game today is the Seahawks and Vikings in Seattle. $105 you have to drop just to get in the building to watch Sam Darnold play his old Minnesota Vikings. Shocking. Always a thing I like to look at. I like to look at it with college basketball. That's always my favorite thing. The ticket prices. Sometimes you see these games that like it's like $1 to get in. You know, if I was around, I'd probably do that. I'd probably, you know, I'd hit up these games. But yeah, so I got a big week in fantasy this week. You know, if I win my fantasy matchup, I'm guaranteed to not finish in last place, which is big. I don't want to get punished. Sometimes, you know, just not getting punished is more important than winning the league. So it's a catch-22 there. You know, I don't know what has happened to me in terms of fantasy football. I got to fucking figure it out. I genuinely just need to figure it out. Again, I'll be watching the Jets today. I'm going to be live for it. It's one of those things, I don't really give a shit. Like, I'm not going to sit here going, haha, the Jets, like, first down or everything. I want the Jets to lose football games. We want the Jets to get the number 1 pick. We're 2-9. We're in the sweepstakes. We need the Titans to start winning some football games. The Saints, the Raiders. Nobody wants to win football games here in New York. Now, I'm also sitting here. Again, I've been bringing this up a lot because it's something, you know, it's very fucking, it's a big story right now. But what the hell is going on with Lane Kiffin? Can he just fucking tell us he's leaving for LSU already? Wanting to lose is small meat mentality? No, it isn't. No, it's called thinking ahead. It's when you look and you realize, hey, you know, we're not making the playoffs this year. I want a number 1 overall pick. It's not. It's actually thinking with an actual brain that you want your football team to lose. You want the best fucking pick possible because it's a better asset. Do I want to see the guys play well? Of course. Do I want to see them win football games? No. It's not worth it. It's called thinking with an actual sound mind. It's not small meat mentality. It's called using your brain, which I don't expect you to use. But, hey, listen, I get it. Kiffin should just stay. You know what it is, Joe? Is like, I'm a big believer of take the money. Like, he's going to get so much money from LSU. You know, are the Bears actually back? The Bears are more than back. The Bears are good. I said it before the year. I love the Chicago Bears this year. What did I tell you? I made a video somewhere. It's around there somewhere. Where I said my 2 best bets of the year are the Vikings don't make the playoffs and the Bears do. I'm not saying I know a thing or two about football. I've also made a bunch of other predictions that are so fucking wrong. But I'm going to run with the ones that I made that were right. The Bears are more than back. They're good. Lane Kiffin, you know, you take the money. I think LSU, they're going to give him so much fucking money. You know, he's already got the recruiting down there in the Southeast. Here's the thing about Lane Kiffin is he's gotten big jobs before, USC, the Raiders, and it never worked out. Ole Miss, it seems like it's a match made in heaven, him and Ole Miss, but, you know, you get a chance to go get paid. You get a chance to go to LSU, coach for 3 years, get fired, and have him pay you for the next 4 years after that. Do it. You know, this is a chance to set himself up. You know, I'm sure he's got plenty of money, but, you know, make more money. Get that bag. It's like I always say, you know, if you worked at like we'll use like a little analogy here. Let's say you worked at like a fucking 7-Eleven or a McDonald's. We'll start with McDonald's. Let's say you worked at McDonald's. You're getting paid like $20 an hour. You know, the Wendy's across town says, hey, we'll take you over here and we'll give you fucking $30 an hour. You go to Wendy's. You don't worry about like loyalty and or anything. Take the money, Go fucking coach LSU. It's, I think Ole Miss is a cooler program, personally, but I don't know. I'd get out of there. I would take the money. I would always take the money and run. But maybe I'm a shallow fucking individual. We're not going to get into that. Hello, Meg, what's up? How are we? Personally, if I'm Lane Kiffin, I'm out. I'm out the door. I have a feeling Lane is going to take a ton of Ole Miss players with him, like what Lincoln Riley did when he went to Southern Cal. Oh, 100%. No, if Lane Kiffin's going to leave for LSU, he's going to take those guys with him. 100%. LSU is going to be back within 1 year. They're going to be a powerhouse again. They're going to undo every single thing that fucking Brian Kelly fucked up there. Brian Kelly, they should have never hired Brian Kelly in the first place. I think Brian Kelly was one of the most overrated coaches of this decade. You got a chance to get the Lane train in town, I'm all for it if I'm LSU. Now, here's a guy that I'm shook that doesn't get more offers like this. And I know he just signed a big extension at Indiana. And Indiana should do everything they can to keep this guy around for life. And he's a guy, in my opinion, Curt Cignetti is one of those guys. Where'd you get that Jets hat? It's a Noggin Boss hat. Go check it out. Tosu David with the rose. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. 4 roses. Appreciate that, my man. Thank you. Curt Cignetti's a guy, if I'm a college football program, if I'm an AD somewhere, Harrietta Tuba, thanks for the follow. If I'm a program somewhere, I'm giving Curt Cignetti $1 billion to come coach my fucking team. Roses for my baby boy. Thanks, Dave. Listen, you can call me whatever you want if you're throwing roses my way. I don't care. Appreciate it, buddy. Thanks for the 4 roses. Ooh, we got 5 roses. 14. He called me his baby boy. Listen, I'll be your baby boy all day if you want to keep paying me. Appreciate it, man. No, Cignetti to me is the guy. Like, I'm shocked he isn't getting more offers other places. I know he just signed a massive extension. I'd still be gone. Waddle or Breece? Ooh, good question. I think I'd go Breece Hall. I think Breece Hall's getting a ton of touches. I'd go Breece Hall. Wow, David's so generous. Yeah, David, appreciate that, man. 14, how many? 3, 1, quick math. 18 roses. Thank you, David. Appreciate it. That's really fucking sick. How do you feel about Notre Dame's playoff odds? I mean, with Notre Dame, let me look real quick. Let me take a quick peek. I think Notre Dame's done enough that they're definitely deserving to be in the playoff. My issue with Notre Dame is, like, they don't play in a conference. At 10-2, there's teams that are going to be playing in conference championships. So how is Messi doing? I have no idea. I've not been paying attention. I have no idea what Messi's up to. Notre Dame only lost 2 games, their first 2 games of the year, to Miami, Texas A&M, 2 very good teams. I think when you don't play a conference championship, I think that hurts you. In my opinion, I would hold it against them a little bit. You got to see what happens with these conference titles games. I'd say Notre Dame's probably like, I don't know. I'd say like maybe a little less than 50-50 to get in. Someone said, thanks for Quinnen Williams, dog. No problem. Thanks for that first round pick. Notre Dame is not watchable. Thing is, they're a big brand. They need BYU and or Alabama to lose next week. That's the problem I have with this stuff. Is like a team like BYU, a team like Alabama, now that they're in a conference championship game, are you going to hold it against them if they lose the game they have to play? I don't like that. I think in terms of, in the whole argument of fairness, now that you're making BYU play an extra game against Texas Tech, I don't think Notre Dame should get in. Isn't this a football stream? We're talking football. No, I don't think Notre Dame should get in over BYU that has to play an extra game. I think that's ridiculous. I want to watch Ty Simpson. I agree with that. And the same thing with Alabama. I don't think you punishing teams that play in conference championships, if that's the case, then the Big 12 and SEC should just get rid of their conference title game. They made such a fuss about having a conference championship game that now that these teams are playing it, you shouldn't punish them. You should not allow, but you don't know Messi? We're talking, dude, I know who Messi is. I don't know what the fuck he's doing. I don't watch the MLS. We're talking American football, real football here. You can't punish these teams that get into conference championship games. Like BYU, I don't think anything should change. Notre Dame should not get in over them just because they lose to Texas Tech. Twice. A good Texas Tech team that's going to be in the playoffs. Twice. Dobbins out. Would R.J. Harvey go for over 44.5 rushing yards? I think so. Yeah, take R.J. Harvey. Don't forget, Bama lost to FSU and lost to OU, who has little to no offense. again, I like with Alabama, I don't think you can make the same. I don't think you can make the same argument that BYU has. I don't think anything should hurt BYU. I don't think you put Notre Dame in the college football playoff over BYU. You could put them in over Bama. I agree that Bama's got some bad losses. But BYU, I don't think they should be taken out of the playoff picture if they lose this game. Because that's so ridiculous. The committee gets so fucking butthurt about teams not playing conference championship games that you're going to hurt a team. You're going to take a BYU out of the conversation. BYU ain't good, but they deserve it. No, listen, I'm not saying BYU is a good football team. Like, you know, I'm not saying like they're better than Notre Dame by any means, but you cannot tell me that Notre Dame earned that spot over them if they add the conference title game. Oh, Mac, thanks for the follow. I didn't see that. Is it too much to ask for Steelers defense to put up 60 fantasy points today? Listen, you can ask for whatever you want, man. If the Falcons lose somehow, I will be personally drive to Atlanta and kick Raheem out myself. Yo, Kmart, what's up, man? Yeah, hat. Yeah, it's a big hat. Tosu David. Thanks for the follow, man. Yeah, look, Notre Dame could get in. They played a tough schedule, too. You got to look at the fact that Notre Dame has played a gauntlet of a schedule. To me, punishing BYU for playing in a conference championship game would just be ridiculous. Then it would just be the committee going in circles. You have to. 20 roses from Tosu David. Thank you. You have to put BYU in over Notre Dame. The rest of the rankings, the rest of the look, it's pretty much open. Also, Vanderbilt is making the playoffs because we blew out the Vols in their stadium. Yeah, Vanderbilt could get in, but they're another team that, like, you know, they're not playing a conference championship game. I'm trying to look at the teams. I think Alabama's the one that has the most to lose playing a conference title game. For Alabama, they probably would have been better off with Texas A&M winning. I don't think you punish Texas A&M. Bama, I think they have to win to get in. I don't think Vanderbilt can jump that high, personally. I don't. It's tough. It's a weird. The whole thing is strange because now you got Miami ahead of them, in my opinion. You got BYU that I don't think should get punished for playing Texas Tech again. I don't see a situation where Vanderbilt jumps anybody unless a lot of fucking crazy shit happens. Although you do look at Vanderbilt's losses, Vanderbilt probably has Vanderbilt's got a decent chance. Like, I'm not going to sit here, like, based on their losses, I'm not saying a decent chance. They have a decent argument for getting in is what I'm trying to say here. But I'm looking at all these teams ahead of them, like Oklahoma. Fuck did Oklahoma lose to? Like, Oklahoma, this is going to be a tough. I would not want to be sitting in that committee room. My Cavs absolutely in shambles, bro. That's tough, bro. I mean, BYU got absolutely owned by Tech last time, and the Big 12 isn't too strong. But Texas Tech is really fucking good. That's the problem. If BYU's only 2 losses are to a Texas Tech team that's going to be in the playoffs, I'm not taking them out of the picture. Again, you're punishing a team for playing an extra game. I think that doesn't work. This is a tough. These, like, spots, like, I think Miami, to me, Miami does not belong in the conversation. I would not have Miami anywhere near this conversation for the college football playoff. They lost a home game to Louisville. They lost it to SMU on the road. I know SMU's playing the ACC. I know SMU had a shot to play for the ACC title. Miami should not be in this conversation. They should not be anywhere near the college football playoff. So X them out right away. Utah, let's see. Utah lost to BYU and Texas Tech. You can't put Utah in over BYU no matter what happens. Utah shouldn't be in the conversation. I think Vanderbilt could actually, looking at it now, Vanderbilt could jump into the top 12 in my opinion. I think they belong in that in that conversation a little more than others. You got to remember that a group of 5 is going to get in. This year's playoffs feel so much more competitive. Yeah, oh yeah. This is one of the best years for the college football playoffs. BYU is a good team. BYU got absolutely owned by Tech. BYU is good. They're a solid football team. Like, would I say they're better than Notre Dame? I don't know, but there's nothing on BYU's resume that should take them out of the college football playoff. I think they're in no matter what. That's just me. Lonta Voice, thanks for the picture, man. Appreciate that. We got artists over here. I'm gonna mute that so I don't have to keep looking at it, but I appreciate your artwork, man. A lot going on. BYU hasn't played anybody. BYU played a Big 12 schedule. Their only loss was to Texas Tech. you're right that their schedule isn't that impressive, but they've done what they had to do. You can't punish a team. Texas will be in. Texas should not be in. Not a chance. BYU is a good team. That defense is good. The Catholic thinks someone else's religion. Also more. Oh, I mean, listen. Let anybody believe what they want. To me, don't give me the Florida loss. 3 top 10 wins. Listen, don't give me the Florida loss. So, hey, here's the thing. Here we go, Brad. Here's what Brad is saying. Don't bring up the fact that they lost to a terrible Florida team. But so they should be in. Your ball knowledge is subpar at best. What are you talking about? Like, this guy's sitting here like, whatever you do, don't bring up the fact that they lost a game to Florida. I'm going to. If anything, you look at, Vanderbilt didn't play anybody either, though. But Vanderbilt with 2 losses, they lost to Texas. Texas could get in. I think there's a chance, there's a chance the committee throws them in there because it's a better story. You got to remember, there's a group of 5 team that's going to end up in here that's going to take a bid away. Texas doesn't deserve to be in. I'm with you. Texas is a good team. Bring that up. Bring what up? That they beat 3 top 10 teams? That's very impressive. They lost to Florida. You're telling me BYU has a better resume? I'm telling you that BYU shouldn't get punished for playing an extra game. Do I think BYU has a better resume? Probably not. They really didn't play anybody. But Texas has 3 losses. If Texas didn't lose to Florida on the road, they'd be in the They'd be in the playoff. They have a great resume. I'm not punishing BYU for playing an extra game against a very good Texas Tech team. What about Notre Dame? I think Notre Dame is I'd say 40-60 to get in the playoff. Here's the thing. I would put Texas ahead of Notre Dame, personally. I think Notre Dame not being in the conversation, not playing a conference title game, I don't think Notre Dame really is that impressive. I think their brand is going to put them in a place, but overall, none of their wins here are that good. I don't think Notre Dame should be anywhere near the conversation. I'd put Texas ahead of them. If I was making that decision, Texas belongs in the college football playoff before Notre Dame. I don't think either one of them should be there. Who did Ohio State lose to last year? What? We're not talking about last year. What are we doing here? Who did they lose to? They lost to fucking Michigan and then won the whole thing. What are dude? We're not talking about last year. Last year has nothing to do with what's going on in the college football playoff. If a 5-loss Duke team wins the ACC, they could get 2 group of 5 teams in. Likely Tulane, North Texas, and James Madison get in. Yeah, I don't think they're going to throw 2 group of 5 teams in. I mean, Duke winning the ACC would make everything so funny. I'd be all for that. Duke winning the ACC, the ACC literally crippled themselves this year, and it's not the fault of anybody other than the teams that didn't, a team like Miami that shot themselves in the foot over and over again. Jets are going to win? They might. Evan Mobley's fall off needs to be studied. Evan Mobley's been rough, yeah. But no, I don't think Texas should be in. I think their wins are impressive. You have to put them ahead of Notre Dame. I don't think Notre Dame should be in the conversation, personally. I didn't even realize how bad their resume was. There is nothing on this schedule that's that impressive that they did. Your saving grace is the badass Metallica hoodie? Hell yeah. Look, Brad, we're not talking about last year. I don't know why you're bringing in last year's losses and, why we're talking about that. It has nothing to do with what's going on this year, is all I'm saying. Notre Dame doesn't belong in the conversation. Texas could get in if Duke wins the ACC for sure. I meant Michigan 2 years ago. Okay, again, what does that have to do with anything going on this year in the committee? It does matter. They lost to a nobody. They lost 1 game. Ohio State? Wait, because they ended up winning the whole thing? Again, you could play the what if game all you want. You could play I hate the way the college football playoff committee does things. But you can't tell me that BYU, the committee is so fucking, it's so corrupt and so ridiculous anyway. Texas lost to Ohio State and Georgia. They will get in. Fact. They also lost to Florida. Don't leave that part out. They lost to a 3-8 Florida team. I know you're conveniently leaving that out. You said don't bring that up. You have to bring it up. You have to look at it and say, hey, they lost to a Florida team that's 3-8. Yes, they have an impressive win. They've won some impressive games. They have an impressive resume. For sure, in terms of the win column. That loss might hold them back. The fact they're not playing an SEC title game, it definitely puts you in a place where you're not controlling your own destiny. It's Indiana's year. I love Indiana. I think Indiana is very good. We'll see what happens against Ohio State. Texas isn't a playoff team. I'm with you. Listen, 3 losses, impressive resume. The wins they have are impressive. They've lost 3 games this year. Granted, 1 on the road to Ohio State shouldn't hurt them. They lost to Florida, 3-8 Florida. that throws them off the fucking scent. Yes, they played a tough schedule. I agree. If they had 2 losses, I'd have no problem. They'd be in the college football playoff right now, 100%. You can't just say, hey, ignore the fact they lost to Florida. You can't. And that's ridiculous. And again, BYU has to be in the college football playoff, in my opinion. And we know that the playoff committee, has no fucking morals whatsoever. They really they change their stance every year based on whatever fits the ESPN narrative, whatever's going to help the ratings. They've bitched and complained that teams aren't playing conference title games for years. So the Big 12 adds a conference title game, and now you're going to punish BYU for it? It can't happen. A team like Notre Dame should not be in my opinion. They're not playing a conference title game. I think we need to start punishing the independents. If Notre Dame went undefeated this year, sure, put them in. What team? Wait, what? I have a horrible feeling we win today. So do I. I'm worried. Yeah, please, for the love of God, beat us. Florida's ass. Florida's terrible. Florida's absolutely awful. How will Shedeur do against San Fran? I didn't see that. Any team with 10 straight wins should be in the conversation. Who? Notre Dame has 9 straight wins. Again, but that now you're saying that we need to ignore the games at the beginning of the season, which you can't do. You cannot do that. You have to look at everything as a whole. That's always been my issue with the college football committee, is it's a what have you done for me lately thing. You got to look at the resume as a whole. Shedeur against San Francisco, I don't know, man. He impressed me last week. I was very surprised. Like a lot of the things that I saw with Shedeur Sanders in college that I thought would hurt him in the NFL, he looked more confident in the pocket. He looked like he had better pocket presence than I remember. The Raiders are also fucking awful. We'll see what happens. Another week of him playing. Full week of preparation again. I think for sure the Cleveland Browns Shedeur Sanders has to be the guy they run with at this point. The Gators should be in the playoffs. Yeah, right. Obviously, Shedeur is the guy they got to run with. I think when you want to look at it as a whole, the Cleveland Browns did Dillon Gabriel such a fucking disservice. Start to Rico Dowdle, Kyren Williams, Breece Hall. I'd go Rico and Breece Hall. I think the way they handled Dillon Gabriel is so fucked up. Dillon Gabriel was not ready to be an NFL quarterback today, and they threw him out there. They just threw him out there, kind of threw him to the woods. Can you tell I'm a Gators fan? I can tell. Shedeur fans are still insufferable. There's people that start Gadsden or Otten. Ooh. I'd go Cade Otten. As long as Vandy makes it, not going to lie. Vandy has a legitimate argument. I don't think they're going to get in. Shedeur fans are still insufferable. I think a lot of the shit with Shedeur Sanders is just it's a lot of it's very over the top. People are just anointing him as this great quarterback already. He didn't really do anything that was that crazy to get that far ahead of yourself, but he definitely looked better than what the Cleveland Browns have had. What are your picks for this Sunday? Under in the Colts and Texans, and that's it. That's all I like so far. Listen, I'm big on. I think Shedeur Sanders has potential. Miami should have drafted Sanders. I think there's plenty of teams looking at it right now. Still got that starting spot. Listen, sick. Great. He's better than Dillon Gabriel. I don't think anybody's arguing that point. Again, the Shedeur Sanders, the people who are just abnormal fans of him, make him so fucking insufferable. Do you think the Jets should trade Justin Fields? I don't think Justin Fields should be on the roster next year. Does he look good? Yeah, Shedeur Sanders looked like he belongs in the NFL for sure. You saw a spark out of the Cleveland Browns that you haven't seen all year with either Joe Flacco or fucking Dillon Gabriel playing quarterback. I don't think anybody in their right mind thinks Dillon Gabriel is an NFL quarterback. The Browns need to just cut ties with him, admit that was wrong, put Shedeur out there and see what happens. He wasn't ever going to start 2 weeks ago, according to some fellas in here. He wasn't until Dillon Gabriel got hurt. Again, he was never taking over the starting job. That was something I said over and over again. He's still mid though, I'm just saying. Look, again, what did I tell you? I said he's not going to take over the starting job from Dillon Gabriel, as long as Dillon Gabriel's healthy. Dillon Gabriel got a concussion. Shedeur Sanders went out there and showed immediately he's more talented than Dillon Gabriel. Now, Dillon Gabriel sucks ass. That's not really saying much. Who do you want to draft? I want Fernando Mendoza. Who do you think wins the Super Bowl this year? I don't know. I'm not going to make a prediction right now. Probably the Rams, I guess. I'm here specifically for Mikey Boy. But here's the thing. Shedeur Sanders showed some good stuff last week. Again, it was the Raiders. There's a lot of things that went on in that game that, like, you know, kind of made it easy for Shedeur to succeed. The fact that the Raiders are a fucking disaster. You know, a lot of his numbers are a little inflated from a little bubble screen that worked. It was a great run play. You know, people are screaming and yelling that, like, oh, they took Shedeur off the field, like, for the Wildcat. Yeah, when you have a rookie quarterback in his first career start, you got to protect him. You know, Kevin Stefanski isn't out here trying to fucking sabotage Shedeur Sanders. That's one of my favorite arguments. People are like, he's clearly trying to sabotage Shedeur. Why the fuck would he do that? He's literally on his last leg as a head coach, and Shedeur Sanders is really his only hope of keeping a job next year. And again, you're going to protect your rookie quarterback. That pass on the run was definitely a good play. Oh, yeah, it was sick. Like, he made a great throw. And it was like, hold on a minute, this kid's got a little bit. And, you know, my favorite thing is there were a lot of people saying that Dillon Gabriel can't do the same thing. There's literally a highlight. Like, Dillon Gabriel can throw the ball down the field like that. There's a highlight of him doing it. He just threw an interception when he did it. It was a great play. He got out of the rush. You know, he saw the blitz, got out of it. I think Shedeur Sanders has potential to be an NFL quarterback. But, like, people are making it like he's already this fucking amazing, like he's going to lead the Browns to, like, the promised land. He had a good start against the Raiders where he was protected very well by his coach. Do the Chiefs still have playoff hopes? Let me look. Again, I want to see Shedeur Sanders succeed. I think it would be a great story. But to, like, jump the gun right now, a little bit crazy. Oh, yeah, the Chiefs definitely have playoff hopes. Chiefs are out. They have hopes. Do I think they're going to get in? I hope not. I really hope the Chiefs don't get in. I think right now their backs are against the wall. Do they have hopes? For sure. Chiefs make the playoffs, in my opinion. Who else do they play the rest of the year? The Chiefs, it's 50-50. The teams ahead of them, like, I don't think they're going to take a spot from the Bills. We'll see. Colts, Pats, AFC Championship. Yeah, I'm going to say could happen. They figure shit out. The Chiefs, they always figure shit out by the end of the year. They're always, like, in the conversation by the end of the year. If the Falcons win out, we're a playoff team, but it's the Falcons, so it's not happening. Chiefs are better than the Bolts for sure. Oh, yeah, they are. What's that division looking like right now? Listen, the Chargers at the beginning of the year, I thought the Chargers were world beaters, and they've kind of fallen off a little bit. Let's look at hold on, let me look at the playoff tree. They got the Chargers ahead of them, the Bills, the Jaguars. It's like, it's a little bit of a hill to climb, but there's plenty of weeks left. They could catch up. Chargers O-line died, that too. The Chargers' offensive line is just completely in shambles. Patriots are pretenders. Patriots lose in divisional round. There's going to be some good teams at the bottom of the AFC that I don't think the Patriots want to see in the postseason. I'm with you on that. I don't think the Patriots go to the AFC title game. Patriots are not pretenders. They have quality wins, like it or not. Where? Where's their quality wins? Okay, they beat the Bills on the road. You're right. They beat the Bucs on the road. Okay. Actually, that's 2 quality wins. They have 2 quality wins this year. The rest of their schedule has been kind of a joke. They lost the home game to the Steelers. They got the Bills in 2 weeks again. Bills, Ravens. I don't think the Patriots really haven't played anybody this year. Pats have quality loss to my sorry-ass Raiders. That's true. Denver intrigues me with these last-second wins. I was not big on the Denver Broncos coming into this year. I have totally changed my perspective on them. The Broncos have an elite defense. Bo Nix looks great. The Denver Broncos, they're a team, if they get home field advantage in the postseason, they're dangerous because, like, going to Mile High in the postseason is always tough. Can't speak right now. And, you know, you have a playoff defense. You have a championship defense in Denver. They find a way to get that number 1 overall seed. They have home field throughout the playoffs. They are dangerous. I like watching Bo Nix. Bo Nix is like, dude, everything with Bo Nix is like schoolyard bullshit. It's so much fun to watch. It's like, Bo Nix is so fucking fun to watch play quarterback. I thought he was going to have a sophomore slump, but what do I know? Yeah, yeah, Washington is just a disaster right now. But you know, it was a lot of snake oil last year. Colts Rams Super Bowl? I don't think so. I don't think the Colts are going to make the Super Bowl. But guys, I'm going to run to the gym real quick. I'm going to be live for the Jet game because I love pain. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Thank you guys all for joining.